Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished Girona 4, Real Madrid 2. It was pretty embarrassing for Real Madrid in many ways. I mean, the goals that they conceded were very sloppy. Girona, the Real Madrid never looked like they didn't. Sometimes just felt like they didn't have answers to the Girona counter attack. And that's just basically what Girona did. The first two goals were just long balls to the box. It was just straight channel passes, vertical passes, and they just got in behind Real Madrid very easily. And Real Madrid's defense has got to be questioned. It's got to be questioned big time because Castellanos scored 4 goals today, and none of them were like very difficult goals to score. It was very poachers goals in many ways. And they've got a big poacher who's going to be coming up, who they're going to be coming up against in a few weeks. This result doesn't mean much for them in terms of the La Liga because I don't think they were going to catch Barcelona anyway, even if they had won this game. And somehow, I just don't think that that's possible anymore. I think Barcelona are going to, they're going to win the league title come what may. But where this does create problems is with Manchester City are watching this game. They're going to be thinking, right, all we've got to do is simple balls over the top, just simple balls over the top. But that defense is very shaky. I know a few players were rested, but questions have got to be asked for Real Madrid's point of view as to how easily their defense were getting cut apart and cut open by Girona. I mean, the 4 goals, that first goal, it's literally Girona's first attack of the match. You've thought that the game had that sort of feeling in it, where Girona were going to pack themselves in the final third, and then they were going to break out really quickly with which passes, sharp passes, long passes. I mean, Real Madrid should have known that, and yet they were not prepared for it. They didn't have any answer. It's a simple pass, it goes down the channel run there. It's a nice little cross for Castellanos, and he just says thank you very much, and he finishes it. It's the kind of goal that Haaland scores in his sleep, really. And it always goes back to that, doesn't it? It always goes about like, what would Haaland do? What would Haaland do? Because that's the big challenge that they've got. If they're going to win the Champions League this season, that's the challenge they've got to overcome. And based on this game and based on the goals that were conceded, I just don't see if I just don't think they're equipped for that challenge, to be honest. But yeah, that first goal goes in with that. Second goal again is even worse. So the first goal was bad. The second goal is even worse. It's a simple, hopeful long ball over the top. Castellanos is onside. Don't know where Militao is. I don't know what Rudiger is trying to do. Both of them should be, one of them has got to be, looking back and making sure that they're trying to play an offside trap, I think. The problem is you don't play an offside trap when the players in his opposition half. Even if they were trying to play an offside trap, Rudiger was not on the line. He was actually behind the line. So even if Castellanos was a little bit off, he still would have been onside. So it's just poor defending, poor coordination. And once he gets the ball, yes, he's got to a little bit because he's got to shift it from his left to his right foot. But once he does that, that final touch before the shot is beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's a nice touch. He shifts it on, and it's a good finish. Simple finish, but it's a good finish. But once he gets it onto his right, there's nothing Militao can do, and that's going to be disappointing for him. And the second half, and then they got a goal back. Vinicius scored a goal, and talk more about him. That was a good finish. Again, another headed goal. Nice cross from Asensio, and it's a good finish from Vinicius to make it 2-1. Second half, you think, right, maybe Madrid are going to give it a go. They're going to try and fight hard. They're going to come out of the blocks quick, try and, put pressure on Girona, maybe try and get a goal back as quickly as possible. But they just do the opposite. They just concede another goal. Again, it's a channel run. It's a simple, it's just simple football. And it's a 3-1 to Castellanos again, scoring, getting a hat trick. And he makes it 4. There was a bit of a deflection on cross, but again, it's a header into the, it's a cross. And it's a simple header for Castellanos. And to 2 headers, there was a bit of deflection from Carvajal, but still you expect Madrid to deal better with that. You just couldn't deal with it. And what you would have noticed, of course, is that they were all unmarked. The 2 headers were unmarked headers. And again, and the 2 other goals, were very good. One of them was a run over the top, and then the other one is a simple poacher's finish. And what that tells you is that Real Madrid have serious issues in that defense. They need to fix that. We've got a few games left before they've got to play Manchester City. They've got to fix that, because if they don't, Haaland is going to have a field day in that game. De Bruyne is going to have a field day. Haaland's going to have a field day. Grealish is going to have a field day. Whether Mahrez, Ford, and whoever starts, they're going to have field days, because it just looks like the back foot is not coordinated. And I know it's Champions League, it's Real Madrid, whatever, all of that. But the fact is, you can't keep going slow in the league and then expect to turn up again in the Champions League every time. You can't do that. You've got to you've got to be consistent at it. I know they were missing Benzema, I know they're missing a few others, but you can't keep relying on that particular, well, it's the Champions League, will be up for it kind of situation. You've got to, at some point, iron out those kinks and make sure that you're actually playing consistently well. So that was that. I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a good result for Girona. I mean, like I said, I don't think it changes much in terms of Barcelona. I mean, had Real Madrid won, I wouldn't be sitting here and saying that they can make a late push for the title. That's not happening. I think Barcelona winning it either way. Just they found that rhythm, of being able to win 1-0 or 2-1, whatever whatever it takes in the league to win. So they were not going to be caught out, but it's a result that Real Madrid needed because they've got some big games coming up, and against Manchester City, the cup final, they need results to make sure they have consistency and form going into those games. And that brings me to Vinicius Jr. And he scored a goal today, and he got an assist today. And anybody who'd look at the game based on that stats and numbers would say, "Wow, what a player, right? What a wonderful performance for Vinicius Jr." But I thought for large parts of that game, he was an embarrassment. He was an embarrassment to watch because, and I know Vinicius is young. I know he's had a lot to deal with this season. He really has had, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. He's had a very testing time, a very trying time. But I just feel the last few games, the last few months, I think Vinicius is just, there's something of a victim complex that he's developed in his game, where I think every time he feels like the world is against me, and you can see that the way he tries to wind fans up, the way he tries to wind players up. I don't know what it is. Like, you just watch him. Like there's an art to drawing fouls and to winding fans up. So you kind of get yourself going. You kind of get players lose their heads, fans lose their heads. That there's an art to it. But if you keep doing it constantly, you just make yourself look make yourself look stupid. And in many ways, the referee then starts to catch on to that. And then when there is real issues, the referee does not give you the foul or does not give you the penalty because he's thinking, this is just Vinicius being Vinicius. And I just feel that today, again, you could see that he got a couple of fouls against him. He's like, oh my god, the world is against me. Like, why is that happening? He's smiling, sarcastic smiles that he's putting on. He does, he does that whole, touching his badge and going like, yeah, this is what I want. I mean, it's just shithousery for the sake of shithousery, and that is not good. And I think Ancelotti's got to pull him aside. Benzema's got to pull him aside, and somebody's got to have a talk with him because he got himself needlessly yellow carded in the semi-final of the cup, and he's gonna miss the cup final. He could have got himself sent off today, long before he scored. Got that second assist. He could have got himself sent off in the second half. He was playing a very, very dangerous game, and I think someone's got to take him aside and go, look, calm down, cool down. The world is not against you. Do it if you want to, but make sure you pick your moments when doing it, because if you keep doing that every time, the woe is me routine, someday, somehow, the team is going to pay for it. So don't do that. Don't somebody's got to have a chat with him about that. I thought Ancelotti would have taken him off actually after that foul where he was just looking up in the sky and going like, don't give me a yellow card. I thought he would have taken him off, but he didn't. And I mean, fair play to Vinicius as well. Credit to him a little bit that he managed to stay on the field. Very close to the edge of getting sent off, but he managed to stay on the field. So credit to him for that, but he's just got to get more maturity in his game and the way that he approaches the game. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let me know what you think, of course, of that. But otherwise, poor performance from me. I mean, there's really not much to talk about from the game. I don't think anybody really comes off. I mean, aside from Vinicius, for his numbers, I think nobody else really comes off with any kind of credit. I mean, maybe Asensio looked okay, since but I mean, Rodrygo was anonymous. The midfield was just ragged. I don't, I mean, Rudiger and Militao didn't cover themselves in glory either. So, and Lunin, of course, being Lunin, just doesn't command the same kind of respect that Couto does. I feel he wasn't at his fault for any of the goals, but just don't think he commands that respect that Couto does from his defense. So that's something as well. But let me know your thoughts on the game, of course. And let me know what you thought of the game. What do you think of the performance? Castellanos was fantastic, I thought. But getting 4 goals in a game against Real Madrid is always a fantastic achievement. Brilliant. It is of course more Madrid heavy, but I thought Girona played really well. They got their tactics spot on. They knew exactly how they were going to approach this game, and they never deviated from it. No matter what happened, they just made sure that they kept doing that. Sit deep, counter, sit deep, counter. That's all they did, and Madrid just had no answer how to break them down and also how to stop them from scoring goals. But let me know your thoughts, of course. Do subscribe to the channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We appreciate your support, of course, and share in the comments what you think about the game. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.